You're meeting your friends for dinner in 5 minutes, and you're already running late. You've been scurrying around the house trying to get everything together to walk out the door. As soon as you go to leave, you realize you're missing something that stops you in your tracks. Where are your keys? They couldn't have gone far, right? You had them this morning. So the search begins. You look everywhere, in the couch cushions, in the depths of your purse, in the pockets of the pants you wore this morning, and you're convinced they're nowhere to be found. You send out a search crew and call anyone that might have suggestions of where to look, and make a wreck of the house for 15 minutes. Finally, after you search everywhere, you find your keys in your car. After all of your frustration vanishes quickly, you're overwhelmed with relief, and you shoot a call to all the people that helped. You tell them of your victory, and they rejoice with you. Events like this happen in our lives all the time. I'm sure everyone can recall a time they rejoiced after finding something they lost. Jesus once told a story similar to this one, but with much more symbolism and relevance than some lost keys. The parable of the lost coin and the meaning behind it is still relevant today as we attempt to lead Christian lives. Today I will share with you Jesus' parable of the lost coin and how the message of the parable is significant in my life. I'll begin by telling you the story as Jesus told it. There's a woman and she has 10 coins. She loses one, so of course she goes and turns on all the lights, sweeps all the floors, and looks everywhere in her house until she finds it. When she finally finds it, she calls all of her friends to rejoice, and they are so excited with her. Jesus says, just as this, the Lord rejoices with the angels over one sinner repenting. Although this parable is from thousands of years ago, it is still relevant in our lives today. This parable is significant to me in 2 ways. The first way is it shows me how special I am to Christ. Sometimes it's hard to think there are so many Christians out there, but how am I that special? Can he always hear my prayers over everyone else's? If I repent of my sins, is he actually rejoicing over that, or is he too busy looking at all the other Christians in the world? But the parable tells me differently, and it tells me that I am special to him, and that he rejoices every time I repent of my sins. And that's just awesome to me. Secondly, this parable indicates the importance of allowing God to use me to reach unbelievers every day. In high school, I didn't have that many great friends, and I just didn't find anyone that shared the same values as me or that I really wanted to walk through life with. If you ask people at school, they would say, of course, Whitney, everybody knows Whitney, but they don't know that I really don't have that many deep relationships with people here at school. I realized early on that Jesus was calling me to live this parable, and I realized that my calling was to go through high school living as Jesus called me to do, and if that just got one believer to Christ, then that was all that mattered. After graduation, I got at least 5 people contacting me and telling me that I either made them strengthen their relationship with God or actually brought them to God. And I realized that I did exactly what God wanted me to do through high school by living out the parable of the lost coin. All in all, the parable of the lost coin is not only relevant in our lives today, but a story that would shape the way we live. The parable of the lost coin symbolizes how special each of us are and gives us a moral to live by each day. The parable and the lesson behind it is still relevant to us as we attempt to lead Christian lives. I continue to remember this parable in my everyday life so that I may not forget the importance of each person on this earth relative to Jesus, including me. I believe all believers can gain something from this parable as I have, and I hope you all will analyze it and find what it means in your own life. We can all have a reminder of this parable next time we lose our keys. We will search for what seems like ours, and when we find it, we'll feel like we found $1 million. That feeling of victory is only a glimpse of what God feels when one sinner repents.
Amazing.